Hi, Mike. I'm so grateful to be here with you at SHOT Show. You and John did talking a little bit ago about the idea of how customizable your guns are and how they become even more customizable with the reworks, the ability to change that length of pull with the backstrap and everyone else. And I wanted to take a minute to maybe beat a dead horse, but as someone who has kind of arms on the extreme side or fingers on the extreme side of it, why it's so important to me.
Lucky Gunner is my recommended trusted provider of Freedom seeds for range or defensive use. In stock, good prices, and rocket fast shipping are why I go back again and again. Because of new guidelines, I can't link their site or say it, but you're smart and you can find it with a simple Google search. Stick it to the man by paying them a visit today.
So I think from a customization perspective, in this term that we continue to work from, which is called shootability, right? It's very difficult to define exactly what that is, and the reason is it's not just any one thing. Right. So we've been known for our reliability as a brand. We've been known for our reliability and our durability, right? But what is the shootability that we keep talking about? What we're talking about is the total package, and customization is part of that package, right? Right. So we have arguably the best barrels in the industry. So whether that's our rifles or pistols, it's part of our core competency, and it's an imperative in our accuracy messaging. But even if you have an accurate barrel and you don't have a formidable trigger that goes with that, or you don't have the balance of the pistol set properly, or rifle, if you don't have the total package put together, you're simply not going to either have the law enforcement criteria scores, or for folks that shoot in their backyard all the way up to true diehard concealed carry folks, you're just not going to have the performance that you have from an expectation perspective. So by being able to retrofit the pistol from the back straps to the side panels to ultimately the Teflon coating that we've added to the trigger bar of the A1s, to a clean break, to really being able to control that pistol, couple that with our core competencies in our barrel and our quality technology. It ultimately all ties together to deliver downrange performance that is very hard to beat in this class of pistols by any of our competitors.
Right, and so what I noticed, especially when I started messing with the A1 and the K, was that my grip was able to be much more consistent. Having the bigger grip, I often had a slightly inconsistent grip, which resulted in a more inconsistent presentation, which limited my shooting. Now, I already shoot at a fairly high level, but there was a cap on it that I wasn't able to overcome. And with this, because I'm able to customize it so tightly, I get a much more consistent presentation. And I feel like it's that, you know, the millimeters matter type of thing when you get to that higher level of performance. So maybe not necessarily that the gun shoots more accurate, although you've done all of the engineering to make sure it shoots as accurately as possible, but that it, once then you combine that with the shooter, you're able to kind of grab those last bits and ounces and millimeters of performance, because it's just designed to work better. And I was honestly shocked how the slight changes, just, you know, millimeters of plastic, could make a much more consistent presentation for me. And I guess that's how I'm hearing you say the shootability, how it interfaces with the shooter. You build the quality gun, but with the shooter in mind, to get as much performance as possible out of them.
Yeah, and I think what we're really talking about as well is our individual responsibilities to our craft, right? So these are not shotguns. We never walk down to our target and go, that's good enough. That's not the right answer, right? So ultimately for us, we're always looking for a way with our pistol, specifically in this case, the CC9 and our concealed carry pistol, to be able to ultimately perform at our highest level. And you got to have the tools to be able to start with that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to us as individuals to hone that craft. And you know, we as consumers, we have a tendency of taking our products, opening the box, not reading the instructions, and starting to put rounds down range without a plan. Right. And What this pistol asks for is one step further than that. First and foremost, read your operator's manual.
Right.
And the reason why you're going to read your operator's manual is so that you can identify whether it's a VPA1 or whether it's a CC9 on how you can best retrofit that to yourself from a starting point perspective. But you don't stop there.
Right.
You ultimately perform, you document your performance, and then you step back and you change out a back strap or you change out a side panel, depending on which system that you're looking for, and you do a comparative. I will tell you specifically on the CC9, there's a massive difference in the small back strap to the large back strap based off of the size of your hand. Your performance will be quite impressive as it relates to the results that you'll see. So no different than changing different ammunitions from a performance perspective. Right. You need to retrofit these guns to your personal liking.
Yeah, because I think people hear a lot about the interchangeable back straps and think it's a comfortability issue or something that fits right, but ultimately it's not about the qualification scores or about the target at the end of the day. It's about the fact that if we're using these defensively, accuracy is incredibly important.
It matters.
Not just from my own safety as a defensive shooter, but if I'm law enforcement or something, I need to be able to hit that target and not send rounds where they're not supposed to go. So it's not just a comfort thing, it's truly a performance thing. And the performance, it really matters when it's lives we're talking about and not a paper target. So that's what I truly love about the ability to so highly customize it, because I am trying to get that level of performance because it could really matter in a defensive encounter. So I really appreciate you taking the time to go over that with me. Thanks, Mike.